If you're in high school or you're in college and you are just looking for some other way to make a little bit of extra cash on the side, then you have come to the right place, because in this video I'm going to be talking about the 5 best side hustles that you can actually start that don't require a degree, they don't require a lot of startup costs, you're not waiting around for some company or some person to give you permission. These are actually things that you can do to make a little bit of money on the side, and I did some of these things so I know that they actually work. And I graduated college when I was 20, but I was still able to make thousands of dollars from doing some of these side hustles, and some of them took literally no effort. I'm going to talk about one that literally took me no effort at all, but a lot of these required very minimal effort on my end or almost no effort at all. Also, if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. But now that we got all that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, so the first side hustle that you could do is to learn any sort of freelance skill. This could be really anything. It could be something on the computer like graphic design, editing videos, copywriting, social media, or it could be something in person. So what I did, for example, is when I was in high school, I had a couple of friends that just had plain white shoes and they wanted them painted, like they wanted some sort of design on the shoes. And so what I did is I bought some paint supply and I said that I would do it. I'd charge them like 50 to 80 bucks depending on how hard the design was. But I would do that for a couple of my friends, and then eventually they told some of their friends and the word got around, and I think I made about $1,000 just from doing this alone in high school. I honestly don't know why I stopped. This could have been a pretty good moneymaker for me. Now I'm going to combine the second and third side hustle because they're kind of similar. It's going to be reselling shoes or any sort of item or selling stuff that you already have. When I was in high school and in my early days of college, I got really into the shoe reselling business, and I actually had a buddy who now does shoe reselling full time because he knows the business so well. But there's some really good money to be made there, especially now that you can buy things on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or Depop. There's just so many different ways that you can find deals, and there are definitely deals to be had. I also knew another guy who would buy and then flip furniture. He would buy and flip couches, tables, dressers. This one definitely does take a lot of effort and it does take a lot of time, but I was able to graduate college when I was 20 and I still was able to find the time to do this. So it is hard, but it can be done. Gosh, I'm trying to remember how much I made. I think I made about $2,000 from doing this over the span of a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but to a young 18-year-old or 19-year-old or however old I was at the time, that was a lot of money and it went a long way. Number 4 is doing some sort of gig side hustle. So this could be anything like DoorDash, Uber Eats. I'm normally against this kind of stuff because if you don't live in a big city, it can be really impossible almost to make money from DoorDash or Uber Eats just because of how expensive gas is nowadays. But it honestly is the fastest way to get cash in your pocket. You can literally sign up and start DoorDashing whenever you want, and you can work whenever you want, and all you really need is a car. And if you just do this 10 hours a week, you could easily make 300 to 700 bucks a month after gas and expenses, depending on the city that you live in, of course. And now the 5th side hustle that I did, this one took me no effort at all, but it made me by far the most amount of money, was by investing my money. So when I was in high school, I worked at Jersey Mike's, and I did that for quite a while, and I saved a lot of my money because this was during COVID and there really wasn't a whole lot of things for me to spend my money on in the first place. So I saved my money and I invested it into the stock market. I didn't really get aggressive. I just invested it into low cost ETFs, and I just kind of let it sit there for a couple of years. But after about 3 years, I had made about $4,000 or $5,000 off of my initial investment, which to a 20-year-old kid just getting out of college was a really good starting point for me, and it really helped me to get my feet off the ground when first starting my career. And now that I'm thinking about it, I actually want to give you guys a 6th side hustle, and that's going to be content creation or social media. This one is a really good one if you are willing to play the long game. The way I see it and the way that we are going as an economy, especially now with AI, the people that are going to be the most beneficial, the people that are going to benefit the most and make the most amount of money, I think are the people that have a personal brand and have a social media presence. So build a personal brand, and I know that it's really hard and really scary to post on social media, especially if you are just getting started and you're someone who is really nervous like I was when I was first starting. And a mistake that I see a lot of people doing is they don't post about what they're actually interested in. They just post, and it's really obvious that they're only doing it to try to make money. But if you're posting about something that you're actually passionate about and that you actually care about, people will connect with that. So if you just stick with it, you might not see growth at first, but if you stick with it for 6 months to a year, you might see some growth. And while you're not guaranteed to make a whole lot of money from this, it is something that you can continue to build. And for me personally, I just enjoy the process of building it. So that makes it a lot easier for me to endure the days when I'm not seeing a lot of growth. And my honest advice to wrap this video up is to not try all 5 of these or 6 at once. Pick 1 or maybe 2 and then just commit to it for 90 days and then make a judgment decision on whether or not you want to quit that one and start a new one or continue with that one. I hope this video helped you. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I love making finance content like this, so if that interests you, be sure to follow along, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.